Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Casual Fridays REI. I'm Adam Southey, and today we're going over land valuation methods. Now this is super important because you're gonna need to know how to value the land up front if you're in our training, because we do blind offers, and so what that means is we price the entire county up front so that we know what everything's worth. That way we can send out below market offers to people in hopes to buy their land. But also you need to know how to value the land, because when people start calling you back, you've got to run the comps to make sure you're right. Or if you've just got a piece of land out there and you're looking to sell it, you're trying to figure out what it's worth, this is the place to be. Okay, so here in just a second, I'm gonna pull up my laptop and we're gonna go over the two ways that we value land. The first one is we're doing our marketing and we run the comps up front so that we know what everything in that county is worth. This is super important if you're in our training, if you're sending blind offers, because you got to know how to value the county so that you know what to base your offers on. The second part I'm gonna go over is when someone actually gets back to us. They've said yes, they want to sell, and we really zoom in and make sure that that exact parcel is worth what we offered and that there's room for us to make money. This is also going to be good for those of you that are watching this that have got a piece of land and you're curious about what it's worth, because you may want to sell it. So let's dive into this and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at here is when we're looking to price counties on the buy side, when we're sending out our blind offers. Just for the purposes of this example, I'm going to use Costilla County, Colorado, because that's probably the most heavily worked county for new land investors. You're going to see why here in just a second, but some things that we look for, some things we go over, you'll hear us talk about a lot, is pricing consistency. So it's really easy to comp a county when all the land is worth roughly the same. And a lot of times that will be in more rural counties. Like I pulled this map up here of Texas, because we're gonna look at Texas as an example here in just a second also. But this is a population map, and what you can tell here in the red, this is counties where it's real heavily populated. So what you're gonna see in areas like that is like on one side of town, 5 acres may be worth 150 grand. But then as you get to the more like green areas where there's nobody, you know, that side of town may, the same 5 acres may be worth 60 grand, right? And so there's not very much consistency, and if you're pricing out at an entire county level, it's gonna be a whole lot harder. But when you get to these areas where everything is green, there's no red, there's very little yellow, like these three counties here where there's nothing, or over here like Brewster County area, like all the land is going to be worth roughly the same, because there is no heavy population that picks a part of town and distorts that. And that happens in Costilla County. That's why we're going to look at this as an example. But we always price, this is really important, we always look at land specific websites to pull our comps, because exactly what you would think, like that's where all the land is. We don't like using realtor.com or Zillow or any of those other ones, because they're just not land specific. They're more geared towards houses, and the land that does sell is typically listed by realtors who specialize in homes, who may or may not necessarily know what they're looking for in land. So we go to the land specific websites because there's land brokers that work there, there's land investors that work there, and I really like Lands of America, which is why I've got this up. I went ahead and plugged in Costilla County, Colorado. I left the price blank, and I just did 5 to 20 acre properties so that you can get a good feel. I also sorted it over here, price low to high, and there's quite a few listings. We'll kind of go through it real quick, but there's always going to be these few right at the front, right at the top, of people who are trying to sell them quickly, like 5 acres, 2,500 bucks, 5 acres, $3,100. Those are good prices. Those should sell pretty quick. But as we keep going down, you'll start to see where it levels off. Like 5.3 acres, 3,900, 5 acres, 4,000. 5 acres, 4,250, 4,500, 4,500, 4,500, 4,500. Like there's just a pattern that you'll start to see where you can really get a good feel for what all the land is selling for. And in this case, it looks like a very solid price on market for 5 acres is going to be between somewhere at $4,500 and $5,000. We also provide, if you're in our training, just a little side note, we always also provide a pricing sheet. Kind of looks like this, which will help you come up with a really good price for your offers, because we do focus on that blind offer campaign. But it's a simple Excel sheet, but like you're able to go in LOA here, Lands of America, you can put 5 acres, $4,500. And you saw a lot of those. May or may not necessarily want to put them in there. You may want to do a little bit of diversity here, because we did see some where $49.99, 5 acres, for $49.99, right, and so on and so on. This gives you right here a average price per acre, and then up here we'll get a good price for what you should be offering. So this $9.50, if I put it here, right, it'll tell you that if you're going to make a 35% offer, your offer should be around $332.50, right? This is something we go through in our training pretty heavily, because getting your pricing right on your offers is really important. But so this is a good example of pricing consistency. This is what you really want to see when you're out there making your blind offers on the buy side. Now, to give you another example of what you don't want to see, like what will make it more difficult, I just pulled up this county. This is Parker County, Texas. This is, you know, maybe 20 minutes west of Fort Worth, where we live. And to show you on this map, right here, this real red area, that's where I currently am. But right here, this is Parker County. So there's a little bit of red, there's some yellow, some light green, some dark green. There's really going to be a lot of different pricing there. You can see right here, 5 acres, $435,000. Right underneath it, 5 acres, $140,000. 5 acres, $139,000, $125,000, $450,000, 6 acres, $115,000. Like, you're kind of all over the place. 6 acres, $743,000, 6.6, almost $1 million. In this scenario, you're gonna have to really pick a part of town that you want to be in, and then zone in on it and try and get a really good pricing there. But if you do things the way that we do, because we mail in mass, you probably won't come up with enough data to really make your mailer worthwhile. So that is on the buy side. We also go in and we look, as I showed you on the pricing sheet, we'll also check out the other land sites, Land Watch, Land and Farm, Land Moto. Sometimes we'll do Realtor just to put a little bit of extra in there if there's not enough from anywhere else. So this one right here, this is Land Watch. You will see, for the majority of the time, the same listings over here as you will everywhere else, but every now and then there may be one that you don't see, so it's always nice to just double check. But you can see here too, Costilla County really starts to level out. 5 acres, 4,200, 4,500, 4,500, 4,500, right? It just keeps going on and on and on. Same with Land and Farm. These three websites are really gonna basically show you the exact same things, but double check because you don't want to miss anything. So that is it on how we price properties on the buy side. I'm gonna flip it over here in just a second. I'm gonna show you how, once someone comes back to us and they've agreed on our offer, that we go in and really make sure that that property is actually worth what we think it's worth and that our offer was correct. All right, here we go, let's change it over. Okay, so now we're going to look at how we value a property when someone has responded to our marketing, or we've got a piece of property that we're just curious what it's worth, and how we go through that. It's pretty much the same as on the buy side. Like, you want to pull up this list here and you want to kind of get a good idea of the county. If there's pricing consistency, that'll really help you out. But sometimes there's not, so you really need to dive into it, and I'm gonna show you how we do that. So I actually pulled this up. This is Alamosa County, which is right next to Costilla, where we just talked about. I'm doing this one because one of the first properties I ever bought were 5 acre properties out here in Alamosa, and so I'm gonna show you how we comped it. So go to Lands of America, because it's my favorite site for this stuff, but type it in the county. Pricing and acreage is blank. I just left that wide open so you have everything that's available right now. But you want to find your property, and the easiest way to do that is get the GPS coordinates. And then if you don't know where that is on a map, let's say you aren't using a parcel software like we recommend, like MapRight or one of the similar ones to that, you can take the GPS coordinates, drop it in right here in the search bar on Google Maps, hit search, and it'll drop a pin right on your property. So we've got this map up. You can see the parcel outlines here, but I know my property is somewhere near the 160 and 150 intersection. You go up, take the first right, and property's right around there. So what I'm gonna do when I wanna zoom in to find that property is Lands of America has a map feature over here in the right corner. You can click that. It pulls up the entire county. Kind of zoom in a little bit. I see 160 here and 150, so I know my property is going to be somewhere around here. I'm just going to zoom in until the parcels start showing. And there you go. There's that right, And I know my property is going to be right around here. So we're zoomed in on it. Now this is a neat little trick that we do next. So we are going to zoom in to the property and then slowly zoom out so that we can see the closest properties, because your comps are really going to be based on the properties that are nearest to yours, right? You're not going to go 50 miles away in a county where things are worth different prices at different parts of that county. So you need to be close to get a pretty accurate read. So come over here, once you've zoomed all the way in, come in here and click this search when moved. And then I also like to come to layers and hit satellite. So now you can actually see what the property looks like there from a satellite view. And as we zoom out, right, there's still nothing there. Zoom out a little bit more. We start getting comps. You can see these two right here. They'll show up over here, but 5 acres, $8,400. 5 acres, $8,000. That's a pretty good idea of what the properties closest are going to be worth. And so we can zoom out, we can move this up. We can see you get another one come in right here. This is 20 acres. I don't know what that is. That's 5.8 acres. So this is actually a pretty good example that on this side of 150, maybe possibly 5.8 acres is worth 20,000, but on this side where my property is or was, the 5 acres may only be worth 8 grand. So we'll zoom out a little bit more and take a little better idea. So we got these three, 8,000. This one right here, 5 acres, 8,000. What's this? 10 acres, 15,000. 5.76 acres, 10,000, and then over here 10,000. So, you can see, especially once we get in over here, there's a lot of properties in this area, but this area may be worth a little different. Reason why, here's Mount Blanca. It's closer to Mount Blanca. Up here, these are the Great Sand Dunes. Based on these, I know what this property looks like. The two closest ones are $8,000. I really like that price for a 5 acre. I actually sold mine cheaper back in the day, so it shows that there has been some change in the value of the area. So I would probably, based on the closest comps, I would probably try and list my property right around $8,000. And see what happened. So I'm comfortable, especially if you bought this like you would in our training. I was buying these sub $1,800. I think I probably paid $1,500 for all of them. So to get $8,000, I wouldn't be mad about it. So that's pretty much the only difference here when we're comping on the buy side once someone has responded to our letter or we've got a property that we want to check out. You're still looking for that consistency throughout the county. That way you're not super far off. If it's a rural county, obviously if it's a more populated county, you want to get like-minded comps in your area by using this search when moved tool and the mapping feature. Other than that, that's it. So now you've seen how we price on our marketing side. You've seen how we price on our due diligence side, and that's it.
All right, that's it. Wasn't too painful, was it? Should be able now to run the comps on a county up front, figure out what all the land is worth. You should be able to know how to make some offers below market if you're doing that part. But also if you've got a piece of land and you just wanted to know how to figure out what it was worth so that you can go sell it. So I really hope you learned something. If you liked what we had to do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.